Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Down to Earth Podcast. Yes, we said it, Down to Earth Podcast. I'm your first co-host, Demario Del Crosby. This is your second co-host,
Jay.
Mr. J himself. Mr. J, talk to us, brother. How was your week? How was the weekend? Lay it on us, brother.
Good week. Work week, busy. I mean, just like the last few weeks, everything's busy, but starting to slow down. Once it gets cold outside, then the real estate's really going to slow down because people ain't going to want to be moving anymore. They're going to be sitting in that house cozied up by a fire, drinking the hot cocoa.
By a fire every night.
So just playing a little catch up still in anticipation of slowing down and having a lot more time to really dive into a couple other things that I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
Weekend was good. We kicked it yesterday. That was a blast.
Yeah.
Might have got a little too messed up, but we're here today. That's all that matters. Played the game all Friday. Got a lot of dubs. Everybody was home. That was fun. Yeah, that's it. How about you?
Gotcha. Week was fun. It was a little, I don't want to say stressful. It was a little different. I'll say that. That'll be the best way to explain it. The weekend was lit. Definitely played some games. Had some fun. Some good laughs for sure.
I won 4-2 in the pool. We got to put that out there.
That's cool. I'm cool with that. We went to the little bar yesterday. Had some little pool, little drinks. You feel me? A little good time. So haven't did that in a minute. I actually just ran around the store for no reason. but that's for something else. But overall, this week has been, like I said, different. And I'm going to go into that a little bit further. But overall...
You got a lot to get off your chest today, huh?
Oh, yeah. I have a lot of points I wanted to point out because this is an interesting week. It was a different week. So the first point that I did want to go over and go into is that we have talked about this in the past episodes where we were talking about having a notebook and the notebook just really being about you and you realizing stuff and really putting it in a notebook so it can come to your awareness on how you act based off of if you're stressed, if you're this, you're that, whatever. So, and I really wasn't going to take action on this yet because I was just like, I don't need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. But there was something that happened that made me kind of push me to do it. And like I said, I've been interviewing for the new gig, trying to find a remote closer position. Haven't found one yet, but again, I'm trusting the process and I know that this is part of it. You know what I mean? So I went on one interview, but it wasn't like a real thing. It was come out. It was something else. It was something I wasn't looking for. But I was like, all right, well, I'm already on the phone, so I'm just going to get this experience and then, get off. So, these guys are trying to sell me on a course or whatever. And then, after the course, they'll give me like a job, whatever. I already did this step, with the course and everything that I already invested into. So I wasn't looking to, do the fucking shit again. So the guy kept going back and forth with me and the guy was losing it. And I could tell he was losing it. And he started mumbling and just messing up his words, stuff like that. So he gave the phone to somebody more important that makes more money, etc. All this stuff. And this guy got on the phone and he's talking to me cool and stuff.
6-figure earner.
What's up, man? I was with Grant Cardone, saying stuff I'm telling you, bro, saying stuff like that. I'm like, wow, that's crazy, that's good. And so me and him talked for about a good 20 minutes. And I kept just repeating the same thing over and over. We would talk and then I would get to that point. We would talk and I would get to that point. And he wasn't listening or anything. So at the end of the call, he got frustrated. And instead of me just hanging up or him listening to me and being like, okay, yeah, this isn't for you, we just kept going back and forth. And then it got to a point he was just like, you know what? The 1% isn't for everybody. And he hung up on me. So I was like, okay. So a lot of things happen when that happened, right? And we were actually talking about it last night, and now I can see the full picture on why he would do that, right? Because that is a tactic at the end of the day, right? He set that, put that in my head, and he already knows that I'm this. They built a profile on me, basically I'm this person that's motivated and is gonna get shit done, So he said that to me, and he got off the phone, and his hope was for me to be like, yo, all right,
right,
yeah,
right.
I'm gonna. Let me see what you guys are talking about, But it didn't happen. So I was like, all right, whatever. But it was bothering me, right? it kept bothering me. And I'm telling myself, I'm like, this doesn't matter to me. This person doesn't matter. This like the situation doesn't matter. Nothing. But I'm like, I still feel some type of way. I just can't shake this feeling. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on? Like, what? So, come to find out, the first thing I did right after we got off the phone, because I thought to a second, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little in the white mode. I'm like, I'm gonna go on customer service round or something.
White mode. That's crazy.
I'm gonna go on Reddit, folks. Yep, don't ever go to this company. But I'm like, no, I ain't even gonna go that route. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, what can I do? So, I think one thing I don't understand about myself, and before I keep going on with, my point, I want to ask you as well. I don't know 100% what motivates me or doesn't motivate me yet. But I wanted to ask you, do you have, obviously it's not one, I'm not expecting 100%, but do you have like a good idea of some like stuff that does motivate you? And like when I mean motivate, like you have that feeling of like action mode.
Yeah, I think currently it's been the same path for a little while now, but it's just increasing the income. So
That's like
when I see like a bigger check or an opportunity that I jumped on that made me money or a big poker win or something like that, the monetary value is the current drive for sure.
Okay.
And I know that it won't always be like that, but to answer your question right now,
Mm-hmm.
the motivation is putting your time into something
Mm-hmm.
and actually reaping the monetary value of it. That's pushing me to be like, oh, okay, maybe it is easier than I thought. You do just have to like put your head down, work a little bit, and you'll see some type of result, which might be monetary now, but in a couple of years might be pure happiness in a different way, stuff like that. But as of right now, it is 100% all monetary based for me.
Okay, got you. So, with that being stated, I don't know what's my motivation. I know if I'm playing Fortnite, a game or something, and we win it, like I'm motivated, but I don't know that thing that I could just go to and just get turned on.
Yeah.
100%, yeah. Like I'm still unknown about that.
Video games is one of them, though, for sure.
I guess I can't say that.
And the question is it more about winning or is it more about beating other people that are trying to do the same thing?
That's a good point. It's a very good point.
Because if it was a bot game and there's no bots, do you really feel good about winning it?
No.
But if you know that it's 99 other human beings that are around the same skill level as you, and then you come out on top
for 50,000,
it's
hey, I'll be up there.
a natural part of it is the human aspect of just wanting to be better.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think if you could take that attachment from video games and apply it to the other stuff that you're doing, not necessarily like, you don't need to be better than everybody at everything.
Correct.
But I think there's something in there where if you could apply that to other things that you're doing, that you could start to reap a little bit more benefits of the goals that you're trying to accomplish, for sure.
Big facts. So to continue on with, the experience of after the interview, the first thing I did was I was like, all right, I need to do something. So I took a note card and I wrote down exactly what this guy said to me about the 1% thing and I got. So I'm like, all right, every single day now I'm going to look at this and this is going to motivate me because it's going to put me in a place that, like, yeah, I know what my goals are. We talk about it all the time of us getting to like a certain level and being able to have more control, So I'm like, all right, this is going to motivate me every day. When I wake up and I get in my office area, that's going to be the first thing I look at. And I'll be like, bet. It's time to go crazy. It's time to go crazy. And for me, afterwards, because after I got out of that emotional state, let's just say that mental state of trying to find something to motivate me, I took a step back and I thought about it and I'm like, wait. I'm like, that motivation, it's a good motivation because it's something there, it's something to motivate me. But it's a bad motivation because long term, and this is the like breakthrough I had, which was
coming from negativity.
Because the long term of me having that note card and looking at that every day, yes, I'm going to be motivated, but at the end, let's say I get to that point and I complete everything, it's going to feel empty now because I had this bad motivation that I used in order to get to that point. And then once I get to another point, let's say the next goal is to buy a yacht or something, and we're just throwing out like random stuff. and I'm gonna be like, damn, like what's gonna motivate me? Oh, I need someone to say something fucked up to me.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
So it's like no,
So
no.
motivation off negative energy is
Exactly, and that's
not the way to go.
it's just a waste of time.
If it's there though, cool.
If it's there,
I'll
good.
eat it up.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's again, it can be good or it could be bad.
But getting used to it would be bad.
Yes,
Because then your mind shifts into what can I do to maybe have a conversation with somebody to say something like that, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Instead of just finding the natural motivation.
Correct. So I took a step back, looked at it, and I ripped it out because I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna let this have like power or be included in my everyday life. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, bet, like I'm gonna rip it up, and I'm just going to remind myself of my why. And I did that, bro. I wrote down everything that I want to like get completed and why I wanted to complete. I'm like, okay, this is my motivation.
Yeah.
But I need to. And tell me if this makes sense when I say it. I need to build the reps. I need to build the conviction into that motivation. So then when it does get to that point long term and I go back to that, I already have it. And every time I look at it, I'll be like, boost, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So
the list becomes the motivation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was
like the falling in love with the process kind of thing.
Exactly that. Exactly that. So that was my process, and I made that experience into something that could better me long term rather than short term. And I wanted to express that because it was it was very hard for me to do, I'm not gonna lie to you. Right? One, just being able to understand what happened, and then two, looking at it. But then also here's another part that I wanted to share. And the reason I wanted to share this is because I was watching this video, and I actually need to send it to you. There's this guy. He was he's an FBI agent. Probably, I don't know exactly when, but he's not an FBI agent anymore. He just owns his own business and stuff. But he was just saying a bunch of different stuff of how a couple parts that stuck out. One was that all human beings have three parts of their life. And he said there's a public, there's a private, and there's a secret. And I was like, oh shit, like that's exactly what it is. You know what I mean? Like there's parts that like people are involved in your life, whatever. There's parts that they're not. There's parts that you want them to see, whatever. So he also was talking about childhood trauma and how that with him and his wife are like really business oriented, and sometimes when she runs into a problem, she needs to talk to him. And his name was Andy, right? So he would say he'd be in a mental state of something would happen and trigger something from his like childhood or whatever, and his mental state would be little Andy, right? So he was like, his wife would come and she would need a problem, and she would notice that he was in that state, and she'd just be like, hey, like, you know, I know you're in a state, and you know, I know little Andy's kind of like here right now, whatever, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But just like being able to talk and identify it, and she was just like, but I need to talk to business Andy, like. We need to
snap that shit out.
Yes, yeah. In a respectful way, though. Of course, you know what I mean? Right. So I was like, damn, like that's kind of crazy. And if you think about that, just if you break it down that way to me, like if you said that to me and like we had a business thing going on, and I was in a mental state, I'd be like, as much as I didn't want to like go with what you say, I'd be like, damn, he is right. Right. He identifies that right now. So why what the dude said to me bothered me so much is because when I was little, all my cousins, bro, all of them was. You ever seen Space Jam? They were like the monsters. I was like Buzz Bunny and them, bro. We were playing football and stuff. They were one hand grabbing it.
You just getting dominated, thrown in the grass,
bro.
Pushed
like,
down.
They talk, catch it. Let him go, little baby, yo. So I could never like keep up with whatever what was going on. They was always fast. There was always this. So. The point that I'm making is that I always had something to prove. And I was like, all right, I gotta get on this, I gotta do this, da-da-da-da. But that brought the point to me that that's why it bothered me so much, because I'm like, you're telling me that I can't do something? Oh, you just fucked up. Because now I'm about to show you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's not healthy for me long term if I get so used to that. And I just realized that, and I was just thinking about other people and like, you know, because that happens. Like shit gets triggered and you just go off or whatever, some shit, you know, and you don't really know what's going on and having the awareness to think about it and talk through it or whatever. So I just wanted to share that whole experience because I thought that was cool. And it was cool for me personally, and just writing that down in a notebook. Cause...
Yeah, bring it back around to the importance of the notebook then and writing it down. And how you'll apply that going forward.
So going forward, it'll really come down to this for me. When I am in a moment, when something happens and I catch it. So if at 5 o'clock I'm feeling good, I'm straight, I'm decent. 5:05 hit around, I'm feeling all down and shit. Something happened between those 5 minutes, and I need to figure that out. I need to figure out, okay, what triggered. Like, I was watching a YouTube video the other day about sales, had nothing to do with nothing. The next thing you know, I was watching it and I got like kind of like in a mood, and I was just like, fuck, you know. But being able to write, okay, I got in that mood at this time, and look back at everything that happened, I can maybe find, maybe not all the time, but I can maybe find something. And the reason I would do that is because I would, one, just understand myself more. And I feel like me personally, if I just understand myself, a lot of things can't affect me because I'm aware of how they will affect me. You know. So going forward, I'm just going to continue to do that and just getting to know myself better, so I can, I guess, just be better in more situations where I know my weaknesses will really come out.
So then the notebook and the writing stuff down is only in emotion shifts?
No, it's in everything about me.
So then are you daily writing, or
not yet, not at that level, and that's the other thing. Like, this is all new for me, so I can't rush into that because then it's gonna fall apart. So I'm just
using that notebook that we got, or a different one?
No, this is just like a regular
I might
notebook.
break that one back open.
I haven't used that one yet that we bought, the red and blue one, but I have a little brown one that I just write the day-to-day stuff I need to do in it, whatever. But that's I want to get to that point, but I'm just not ready for that yet. Me personally,
yeah.
I'm not ready for that whole thing, and because I want to use it very.
I saw that it's not because I know we got that like a year ago.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have calendar dates, so it doesn't actually expire. And I thought that was clean.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, okay, so I can hop in this bitch anytime.
That's the only one I ever seen that has it like that. I'm not saying there isn't others, but I'm just saying what I've seen. Yeah. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that. But I also wanted to go into another point, and I kind of researched this a tiny bit, not too much. So what I noticed about myself this month is that I started off with some goals. We obviously said where we wanted our goals and stuff to be and blah, 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 blah. But a lot of the stuff I didn't stick to. I would say that honestly and openly.
Let me slide in real quick.
Go ahead.
Bro, how is it already fucking November in like 2 days? We just had the October conversation.
That's big facts.
Like a week ago. I think someone out there changing the time. You got a conspiracy for everything. You look away, they up 5 minutes on the clock. They do that 3 times a day. That's crazy.
I think somebody trying to sit back and say it like that. But so I think a thing that happened to me is I had all my goals. I started going to the gym. I went to the gym 1 week straight, and then I didn't go to the gym anymore. I was done, right? And I didn't get sick or anything, whatever. But I just was like, I put my focus on applying for jobs and trying to understand that, whatever. But we talked about before of having like a routine, of having consistency in the life, whatever. But I also said to you that I don't want to create a routine or anything right now because I want to wait until after I get a gig.
Yep.
And then I can really, structure everything.
And that was because you didn't want to make a lifestyle about your current hours in your day-to-day when you know right around the corner your entire day-to-day and hours available are going to be shifted.
Correct.
Because you're going to be getting that job.
Correct.
Somewhere.
Exactly.
So that makes sense.
Right. And what I have found out from that decision is that messed me up.
Sure.
Because, and I was thinking about this as well. From the first day that I got let go from that job, right, I was in a different mindset. And that mindset was,
Trucking?
Yeah. That mindset was like hungry, like I gotta figure this out, whatever.
I got bills to pay.
You know what I mean? And I think, I handled it the best I could, and now I'm in a spot where I'm not really I'm not stressing too much.
The back's not against the wall anymore.
You know what I mean? So I'm a little bit more comfortable in the process now. But what I have also realized is that I got comfortable, and that's messing me up also as well. Because I got comfortable and I didn't continue to look at my goals or have a structure around everything. Everything was just happening and different shit's hitting me, and I'm just like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what? I ain't gonna stop. I usually don't play the game by myself, or if I'm not either playing with my girl or the boys, But I sat down and played the game with my son, bro, and I haven't did this in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not talking about playing like Resident Evil. I'm playing Fortnite by myself. And I actually play Fortnite on squads. And I just share this just because, we hype on the game. But I found one dude in the squad, and me and him just dominated, bro.
Like a little bush kite thing.
Yes,
back
bro.
in the day, yeah.
And me and him are talking and shit. And the thing that had me weak, he said, because he has a list, right? But I didn't say anything about it. And me and him was talking. He said some shit that he just goes, "Yeah, bro, I got a list, so just basically like stall me out."
Yeah.
But so that was a good experience. But overall, I just noticed, and I kind of looked up a little bit about it, just how having a routine in place, regardless of what exactly it is, or if it's throughout the whole day or whatever. But having a routine just puts a lot of things in perspective for you, and it literally just knocks out kind of that kind of what you talked about in the episode before, just like that mental fog. Like, it clears that up from what I've read. I don't know 100% yet, but also feel like I do know. But just having a routine puts you in a better mind frame to be able to adjust to different things and to be able to handle different things when they come up. But also just know, like, the little stuff that you are doing is adding up, and being proud of the little stuff that you're doing. Because, again, with us, we're doing a lot of little stuff, but like, I can say this happily, and we kind of talked about this last night a little bit, that from where we were 20 years old, 21 years old, like,
and all the apartment downfall and all that fun stuff.
Now it's like, you look at it like, damn, like, look how much of the little stuff
you can't not be positive,
up.
Right?
So it's like, I don't know, I was just thinking about that, and if people are out there like a little, lost or a little foggy in the head or whatever, like, I say try out a routine, create something, and just to stick with it for a couple weeks or whatever, and like see how you feel and shit.
I've seen work for some people too. Now that you bring that up, that even if you have a crazier work schedule or just a crazier schedule, maybe not having the routine be like, okay, 6 to 6:30 I'm at the gym, 8 to 8:45 I'm outside running, but just putting it down as this needs to get done today. It doesn't matter when.
Yes, yeah, that's a very good point. Very good point.
I need to read 10 pages, but I'm not going to say, okay, the first thing I do when I wake up is read 10 pages, because if, on that work day, you got to be at work 2 hours early, your morning's already a little messed up.
Yeah.
So you might just have to do it throughout like a different part. But it's like, okay, within these 24 hours, I need to make my bed, I need to do the dishes, I need to read 10 pages, and I need to walk for 10 minutes, and just have that on a list and then check them off as you go, instead of, okay, you know what? Yeah, let's add all these goals during these time periods, and then all it takes is one of those time periods to get messed up, and then you're kind of just right back to square one of not motivated. Oh, okay, typical. I'll just start it again tomorrow. And I think that was one of the things that made a lot of day-to-day stuff hard for me, because I would come up with all these goals of stuff to do, and the number one would always be, I'm going to wake up an hour early at 6 o'clock and go to the gym. If I wake up a little late and I don't go to the gym, for whatever reason, all the other goals that I have after that, I just end up not doing, and I push all of that to the next day. So I think instead of, just to reiterate, okay, I want to work out today. I don't have to do it first thing in the morning. Correct. I could do it on my lunch break in the office. I could do it after work.
That's a good point.
Whatever, just something small.
That's a very fucking good point. That's a very
So if you got a crazier schedule, then maybe just make them goals, and not like, having to fit them into the actual 24-hour schedule of your day.
Facts. Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that's something that happens to me all the time.
Me too. Some days I got to be in the office at 5 o'clock in the morning to get ready for an 8 o'clock closing. How am I working out at 6 a.m. if I got to be in the office at 5?
Can't.
Right. And then the next day I could not be in the office until 10 o'clock. So why am I going to wake up at 6 o'clock if I could catch up on sleep a little bit?
Stretched out.
Exactly. So I think if you got crazier schedules, that might be the way to go. Fuck having to, because if your work schedule isn't, that 9 to 5 set in stone that you can work around.
Yes, 100%.
Then it makes sense. If I'm guaranteed, okay, I'm at the office at 8:30, I'm leaving the office at 5:30, I'm never working early, I'm never working late, now I can frame something around that.
Yes.
But if sometimes it's here, sometimes it's weekend work, sometimes it's this, you're going to throw yourself off. And I feel like, especially if you're just starting out on the track of trying to build that, what's that word? Consistency, not the habits, the day-to-day stuff.
Routine?
Yeah, the routine.
Gotcha.
Trying to build a routine that, I think that would be the best way to start, low-key. Because if I would have done that back in the Nancy's days with all the crazy hours,
Whew.
just having a list of stuff to do, not just, I'm going to try and wake up 2 hours early tomorrow after work until 3 o'clock in the morning. That's not going to happen.
You're going to wake up 15 minutes for work again.
Because I do checklists as it is now.
Yeah.
On my phone, I'm like, hey, Siri, add this to my list of things to do tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll pull it up throughout the day. I'm like, oh, yeah, I need to go to T-Mobile, get a new screen protector. I got to stop at Meijer and pick up this. I got to go get this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though it's small stuff like that, it's still, you know, you're checking stuff off the list. You're completing the day in a way, too.
Nice.
So it's a little stuff like that that I find it easier to add to my routine as well.
That's facts. And I want to say something, too, also, is just doing different stuff that you wouldn't do usually. And I bring this up because last night...
And why didn't you go line dancing?
Huh? Because that's not for me, bro. Yeah, I'll tell you straight up. You know what I'm saying? yeah, that's not for me, bro. But anyway. Anyway.
Oh, man.
So when we was chilling last night, we were about to dip and like both go our separate ways, go home, whatever. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to run around the store real quick. No reason at all, just whatever, just doing it. And I'm not going to lie, one, setting a goal of beating that time frame and then coming back and just hearing whatever, it didn't matter if I beat it or not. But just doing it, and then you told me the time, I was just like...
The goal was 3 minutes, 15 seconds, and you got it in 87 seconds, so a minute 27.
I was like,
so almost half the time, yeah.
That's good, you feel me? But just doing that thing, it put me in a different... I don't know, it just put me in a different mindset, I guess, driving, and that made the drive home a lot better, I guess, for me. Doing that and then having my little smoothie as well. But...
and then cookies. And being teed.
What do you say?
Oh, man.
But, yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to save the last point.
Cool.
For the next episode. I think we got enough here. Unless you have anything else that you would like to add or say anything.
I'm straight.
Find me on... But thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Down to Earth Podcast. We appreciate you guys that are watching, that are commenting, that are subscribing. We appreciate the journey. I appreciate you coming in here every Sunday.
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do, right?
You know what I'm saying? Getting it done. So we'll see you guys next week. Next week will be November. So hey,
more goals. Why is he saying it like that? Fucking baby.
More goals. But no, we'll see you guys next month. Enjoy the rest of the month. Happy Halloween, I guess. And we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.